Hello friends and welcome. Okay, so before we continue trying to diagnose the problem with the 56 Gravely, that it's running rough, I want to thank all the commenters, all the comments about suggestions on what it could have been or what it could be. It all started out with we wanted to fix the oil leak on it, and we found the oil leak. It was the axle seals, so we installed brand new axle seals, and I also resealed the differential on both sides. And after we were done with the job off camera, I let the tractor run for a while I was putting the tools away, and then the governor went full throttle suddenly. I don't know if something went wrong with the engine to where it needed more fuel, vacuum leak of some sort. I'm not really sure what happened there with that. Or the governor just lost its mind. Not sure. Anyway, I put the governor on the tractor about 2 years ago. When my father first bought the Gravely in 1956, it didn't come with a governor. So the first thing I want to do is, we're losing the governor. That's the first thing I'll do is I'll remove it. We don't need it. I don't want it. So when it started running rough, after that happened, it started running rough. I replaced the spark plug with a brand new spark plug. Didn't make any difference. It was still running rough. Then we took the carburetor. I took the carburetor off. First I tried to clean the carburetor when it was still on the tractor. I just did my quick cleaning thing that I do. No difference. Then I took the carburetor off. Then we took the carburetor apart. Then I cleaned everything in the carburetor, which the carburetor was really clean. And still the same thing. Then I decided to pull the head off, check out the head gasket, and the head gasket appeared to be blown on the side, on the exhaust side of the head where the exhaust valve is. So while I had the head off, I had it at top dead center, the valves were closed. I poured some two-stroke mix on top of the block there over the valves. I didn't see any bubbles. I let it sit for about 20 minutes. Nothing seeped through into the engine. So I'm not sure if it's further damage. I don't know if the valves, I don't know, it just happened all of a sudden. So if the valves went out of adjustment, I don't know. But the first thing we're going to do is, incidentally, we tested it. I think it was about a 10-minute video. We tested it out in a little field, and I was happier with it, but I'm not happy with it. So off camera, I decided to put my backup magneto I have on standby. I decided to put that on. No difference there. I didn't change the spark plug wire though, and I do have one on standby. I'm going to try that first before we even continue the video when I go out there and work on it. I don't know if that was all I had to tell you. I think that's about all there is to say on that until we get out there and figure out some other stuff. What I want to do is, this acts like it has a vacuum leak. When I put, incidentally, the carburetor, alright, we cleaned the carburetor, I put it back on the tractor, same thing. So I took my 1957 Gravely Li that we restored, and I put that carburetor on that just to test it. The tractor ran beautiful with the carburetor, so there is absolutely nothing wrong with the carburetor on it. I want to check the intake manifold. It's got two gaskets, one at the carburetor, which I know is good, and then there's another gasket at the block, from the manifold to the block. It would be great if that gasket's blown, or it's got a cracked intake. I don't know if I said exhaust before. I'm talking about the intake manifold. If that's cracked or the gasket's bad, that would be great. I do have extra intake manifolds and gaskets. So I want to try that. And then I'll go as far as I'm going to have to take the heat shields off the engine to get to the valve covers. I'll take the valve covers off, and then we'll give it a quick check of the adjustment on the valves. Maybe we could get lucky with that. If we don't get lucky with the valve adjustments, I'm going to have to pull the whole top end of the engine off. Now the weather's holding up pretty good right now. It's not too cold out. I'm not going to do it right now. For you, it'll be a few seconds after I shut the camera off now. But I can't think of anything else. I mean, I tried all those items and there's no difference. Before we did the head gasket on it, before I even started taking that apart, right at the beginning of the video, I hooked up my spark tester to it, and it didn't seem to be skipping a beat. I don't know how it looked on camera, but looking at it visually, it was just firing as it should. So, I don't know. Alright, so that's about all I have to say on that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get rid of this governor. I already took the hose off here. It has one of these clamps on it. I do have the original period correct clamps for it. We'll put them on if we get to restore this. Okay, so you have the one linkage here that goes to the governor. And what you have to do is, I put the clip back on so I don't lose it. What you have to do is, you're supposed to put the clip over the hole where this rod goes in, and then you put the rod in there, and then you fold the clip over, and it clips to the rod here. Over here, let me make sure I have you in right here. Yeah, I think you can see everything going on pretty good, pretty well. Okay. Okay, when you work the throttle on the handlebar here, that's what operates this rod here through this other rod. And this other rod here that goes to this swivel has a spring on it that goes to the lever here that we're going to undo. And we're going to put everything in a coffee can so we don't lose it. So we got this here. So that's disconnected. I'm sorry, the throttle rod from the throttle handle goes here, and then the rest is operated by this governor arm here, which pulls the throttle on or off, whichever position you have it in. So we just have to do one carburetor mounting bolt here. That's what houses the linkage on here. Off camera I have to change the bell crank, and then I'll show you why after I do it. Because this one just has a hole in it, and I'll show you the one we're putting on there. So I'll do that off camera. get the rest of this thing off here without any problem. This has a Z-bend in it, and that's the throttle rod that goes up to the lever. So that has a Z-bend in it. And then all we have to do is just pull this thing out here. Now we can put our bolt back in here. Like I said, I don't know if the governor caused the full throttle, a problem with the governor, or something happened to the engine where it had a severe vacuum leak and it called for more gas and it went to full throttle. Alright, I'm going to move you back here to where the governor mount. Show you how that's mounted. It also acts as a belt tensioner too, which is pretty cool. I think you're in pretty good view here. Alright, so we're going to begin by loosening this bottom bracket here. It's the tow hitch support, so we want to get that out of the way. And I'm using 9/16 for this. I have to take this bottom bolt all the way out, so we'll do that. Not a big deal. Now I just loosened it some more so we can swing this bracket out of the way here. Okay, so the bracket pushes against here, and then there's a slot here to adjust the governor belt tension. So that's good there. Okay, down here, which I hope you could see. I'll lower the camera just a little bit. I should have set the camera like that in the first place, but it's alright. Oh, that is, I thought it was a 1/2 inch bolt. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I got the wrong socket. I got a 7/16. I know it's not 9. Well, first mess up from today. I just gotta get the right socket. I'll be right back to you. Where'd that socket go? No idea. I have to get right back to you. I don't know what I do with the 1/2 inch socket. I found it. It was on the ground and I stepped on it. It was in the dirt. I was just lucky to find it. I don't know when that happened, but probably the last time we worked on this. This bolt here goes through the casing, the bottom engine casing. I don't know if this has a nut on the end. No. I think it just bolts in there. A couple of top, there's a couple of top bolts for the casing. It has a nut on the other end. This one don't. So you use their tools. So I'll just put that bolt back in. Alright, so here's the governor, and facing this way, where the belt is spinning, this should be spinning this way. It should be spinning that way. Well, I don't know. I can't tell if it's good or not. I have no idea. I don't hear much noise. It's got a little play in it. I don't know if the bearing's bad or what. Not sure on that. Yeah, we'll just stick this bolt back in. Bolt's 9 miles long. Okay, so I'll stick this back on here. Alright, so what we're going to do next is, like I said, I have to switch this throttle rod over. And I want to check the timing again. I'll show you how we're going to check the timing on it. It will, of course, still run bad. But I want to see if we'll check the timing on it, make sure that's all right. I guess if that's all right, we'll take the heat shields off so I can get to the valve covers, and we'll see how the valves are. If the timing's all right, I don't know, this could have jumped valve timing. Oh, you know what else I want to check? We're going to take this shield off on this side here, to where the manifold bolts to the block. Let's see if there's anything going on there too. Because like I said, this thing acts like it just has a big vacuum leak. Alright, that's cool. Alright, so I'll get back to you after I hook up the throttle rod and the bell crank I have to change. Okay, so I want you to see that the timing's okay. I checked it at the magneto and it's fine. And it's supposed to fire. You'll hear the pulse, you'll hear a click when the piston is all the way up at top dead center. I will do it again. Anyway, piston's all the way up. It's going down again. Try to get it to click slower. I don't know if there's a delay in the audio when we record. Alright, you hear the click? Now watch the screwdriver go back down. So timing's on the money. So anyway, I put the throttle back to the way it's supposed to be without the governor. So that's done. I want to give it a start. For those of you that didn't see any of the other videos, I'll let you see how bad this runs. Well, I tried to adjust the carburetor again, but it idles up okay. And then when you bring it down to idle, you got this. That's not too bad. Pops once in a while. I can live with that, but then there's this. I don't know, I have to think about what we're going to do next. Okay, so I got the throttle all situated here. So the bell crank here has a set screw in it. What you do is you feed the rod through the hole there, and then you tighten up the set screw, and that will accept, you know, the rod with no governor. I had to flip this upside down here, the lever. I had to flip this upside down, so full throttle would be down, idle would be up. And also I took this off so I could feed the rod through the hole here, because I don't want to keep bending this loop in the rod here, because chances are after 2 or 3 times you'll probably break this off here. I even went as far as trying a different ignition wire off camera after the last segment, and it turns out that it still runs the same. It was the same thing. Ever since we did the head gasket though, it doesn't stall when you bring it down to idle. It doesn't stall anymore. And also it runs better at high speeds. So alright, so we're gonna have to take these shields off here, and these shields are threaded, so there's a screw that's a 1/4 inch coarse, and after a while, I don't know, somehow the holes in here got stripped out. So what I did was I put bolts behind here into the shield and with the nuts. So we're going to remove the carburetor because the valve covers are down here somewhere. So we're going to begin by doing that. I'm going to get it to top dead center. This way we can check the valve adjustment. Then I'll have to go around to the other side here and do the same here. I guess this was stripped too. So I put the nut and the bolt in here. And the top one, you can use like a 1/4 inch bolt, but what this had was 1/4 inch screws. So I'm gonna have to pull the shields off both sides and check the valve adjustment. Now if the valve adjustment is fine, we're gonna have to take the whole cylinder off. We'll take the whole top end off the engine here and see what's going on. Has to be something with the valves or something. But in the meantime, after I take the carburetor off and the shield off, I want to check this intake manifold and make sure that's okay, that we don't have a blown gasket or a cracked intake. Alright, let me see if I can get you in here a little bit. I don't know if you're going to be able to see anything. Anyway, I took off the valve cover, and where the screwdriver is going in here. I got a heck of a glare here. Yeah, I think we're there, right here, in here. Okay, the valve stem is above, and then down below here you have like a hex head. It's like a bolt head. It's 7/16. If you want to widen the gap, you would turn the that bolt to the left, and that'll widen the gap. If you turn it to the right, it'll close the gap. Okay, so I checked the gap on it, and I'm pretty sure in the service manual it says 15 thousandths, but this is set at 12 thousandths. That's how I like them. And we're doing the intake right now. So I'm going to go to the other side. So the valve adjustment's fine on the intake. I'm going to go around on the other side and we'll see what the exhaust looks like. Alright, so it was much easier to take the 10 or 15 minutes to take the everything apart here. I took the top shield off here so you get the handlebar bolts. I took the shift levers off, and I just folded the handles up, and they're laying against the plow here. So it's just much easier this way. I don't know how I used to take these covers off, adjust the valves, and put the covers back on without taking anything apart, but that was in the past. Those days are way over now. Anyway, the exhaust valve was way too tight. I couldn't get the feeler gauge even in there, so I adjusted it. It's a little bit of a loose 12, and the other side, I think I told you that was alright. So I don't know if that was enough to make this not run right. I don't know. The guy must have well, I bought the tractor that had this engine on, and he said it was rebuilt. I guess he must have rebuilt it. It's just RTV to death all around, you know, that gasket maker. I doubt if Gravely did it. The guy Mike that used to own the Gravely agency, I doubt he did it. But, well, you saw when we had the head off, whoever saw that part, that everything was pretty clean. Looked like it had a new piston in it and everything. And for those of you that didn't see the video on the head gasket, when I had the head off, I had it at top dead center so the valves were closed, and I just poured some two-stroke mix, well, gas mix, on top of both valves, intake and exhaust. I didn't see any bubbles or any seepage there. I took a quick look at the intake manifold here. I don't see any problems with that. Yeah, the gasket seems to be in there. I just went over these bolts to make sure they were tight, and they're tight. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back together and see what we have. If it's still not right, then it'll be a part 5. I don't know if this is part 5 or part 4. I lost track. It'll either be a part 5 or a part 6, and we'll just rip the whole top end off. See if we see anything like a broken piston ring. Something wrong with the valves. I don't know. But anyway, I couldn't get the feeler gauge in on the other side of the exhaust. So I don't know if that's going to help us at all, but well, it's a little bit better. I have a feeling there's something going on with the valves. So I'm pretty sure we have to rip the whole top end off. and see what's going on. But it is better. I hooked everything back up. I even put the air cleaner hose back on it, and I just adjusted the carburetor again. It took a few pulls to start it again, but I don't know. High speed's really fine now. Before it was popping every, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds or so. But I think we're going to end this one here. When I had this sit-down discussion in the beginning of the video, I told you everything we did to it. And we also, you've seen, I checked the timings fine. If anybody else has any other ideas, I'm out of ideas. I tried everything. We changed everything on this tractor. I didn't have to put anything brand new on it. I had good use stuff, and we knew the carburetor was fine because it worked great on a 57 Gravely in one of the videos. I don't even know what part this is. It's either 5 or 6. I'm not sure. I'll mark it down. If I decide to mess with it some more, I don't know. It's pretty late now. It's fall now. And even if I take it apart and see what parts it needs, it's going to take a couple of weeks for me to get the order in the mail. So I'm thinking not to take it apart because I really don't want to leave it apart for the winter. I'm thinking maybe we'll just start fresh in the spring. This way it doesn't matter when the parts come. But like I said, I couldn't get the feeler gauge to go in between the valves there, and I had to turn that the bolt with the hex head. I had to turn it towards the back of the tractor like you're tightening a bolt, and then it gave me the clearance we needed, the 12 thousandths. So, and like I said, the intake was fine. I didn't have to adjust that at all. But, alright, so if anybody has any ideas, I'm sorry it didn't get done now. For you to say. But, there is an improvement. Before we did the head gasket, it would stall when you brought it back to idle. And then in one of the previous segments, before we adjusted the valves, it was running really bad when you went from throttle to idle. It was really bad. Seems to be better. It's not stalling, and it does miss when it's idling. Alright, I don't want to keep rambling on here. I don't know, I'll let you know. We have other things we have to get done here before winter hits. And thanks for watching. I guess that's it. I'll see you all on the next one, and take care.